Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, we are very, very fortunate to have His Grace. Hare Krishna, we are very, very fortunate to have His Grace Kalakantha Prabhu with us. I'll read a small introduction for Prabhuji. In 1972, at the age of 18, after receiving a Sri Shopanishad from a Harinam party he met while at work downtown, Kalakantha Prabhu joined the small ISKCON Portland temple. In 1973, Srila Prabhupada accepted him as a first and second initiated disciple. Over his 10-year of brahmachari career, he distributed books with the BBT Library Party, served as the Bhakta leader in ISKCON LA, and opened a college preaching center in Newark, Delaware. Subsequently, Kalakantha Prabhu helped ISKCON North America shift to a congregationally based movement, both as a temple president and a consultant. He also served as an editor for Back to Godhead magazine and as secretary for ISKCON's governing body commission. For the past 12 years, he has developed the Krishna House project in Gainesville, Florida, into a dynamic and successful college preaching center. In addition to numerous articles in Back to Godhead, Kalakantha Prabhu has authored several popular books, including A God Who Dances and Bhagavad Gita, the Song Divine. He has also written ISKCON manuals on fund development and dispute resolution. Kalakantha Prabhu has served as an elected councilman in La Crosse, Florida, as a volunteer mediator in the Florida state court system. Since 1982, His Grace Kalakantha Prabhu has been married to his god sister Jita Mitra Mataji. They have 3 children and 2 grandchildren. Since 1992, he has supported his family through a part-time real estate development business. He is a member of the Sadhu Sangha men's group, meeting weekly for 25 years. When not serving or working, he enjoys writing, music, hiking, and swimming. Prabhuji is also an initiating spiritual master in ISKCON. And our Yugal Kirtan Prabhu is here. He is the recipient of his mercy and shelter at Gainesville, Florida. So let us welcome His Grace Kalakantha Prabhu by once chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So nice to be here, and my sincere apologies for Jugala Kirtan Prabhu, bringing him to you. He was one of our very best students at our ashram. But we could not keep him away from Pune. That was Hare Krishna. Haribo. So your temple here, you were saying this hall was used for another purpose?
It was a badminton court.
Banquet?
It was a badminton court.
Oh, a badminton court.
They made this loft.
Oh, I see. 2 stories. Oh, I see. Very good. You know, the devotees are turning material energy into spiritual energy all over the world. That's very nice. Srila Prabhupada liked it, actually, when we would purchase buildings and turn them into temples, particularly churches. We did that a lot in the U.S. So it's wonderful to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me and for allowing me to speak this morning, especially this auspicious week of Gaur Purnima. The subject I was given is about Lord Chaitanya being the servant, taking the role of the servant in spite of being the master, Krishna himself. And this is so very important, a wonderful topic, because the whole purpose of spiritual life, our whole dharma as living beings is what? It is servant, yes. So in my role as a spiritual leader in ISKCON, this is something I observe how much confusion there is, or how much reluctance there is for taking roles of leadership because you're supposed to be the servant, right? Everybody feels I should be the servant, therefore how can I take any leadership position? Dasa das anudas, I want to be the servant. So it is a kind of a misunderstanding of the philosophy. Like when two devotees meet at a door, have you ever seen this? Two devotees come to the door at the same time. One says, Prabhu, you please go. No, Prabhu, you please. You go first. No, Prabhu, you go first. No, Prabhu, you. Prabhu. Because everybody wants to be the servant. But the actual humble position, that is to, you tell me to go, I go. Right? So in the same way, leadership is not taken as a matter of self-aggrandizement. It's taken as a matter of, this is the order that we are given to take roles of leadership. And so taking leadership role is a matter of humility. It's not a matter of pride. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he was Krishna himself, showed that the role of leadership is taken on the order, on higher authority. For example, he himself accepted a spiritual master, although he is the source of all spiritual masters. He himself listened respectfully to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya for a week, just listening, because that was his position, that was the etiquette. And he was showing how being a leader does not mean dominating people, it means serving. My dear godbrother Bhakti Tirtha Swami wrote a beautiful book about this, servant leadership. Servant leadership means that we take leadership roles in order to help people. So this is exactly what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. His internal reason for appearing, of course, is to taste the love that Radharani feels for him. Krishna has everything, but he could not understand this love that Radharani was feeling, and he wanted to experience that. And so as explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, for this reason, he took the form of a devotee of Krishna. He is Krishna himself, but his countenance, his color is golden like Radharani. Krishna Varnam Tvasa Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti Hi Sumedasa. He is Krishna himself, but he is a-Krishna. He is not blackish, but he is golden. And Sangopangastra Parshadam. He comes and incarnates in this age with his astras, his weapons. His weapons are not like Krishna's chakra or Vishnu's club, but rather his weapons are Harinam, Prasadam, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Yajanti Hi Sumedasa. So people in Kali Yuga who are sufficiently intelligent will find shelter in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings are, what we say, softer than Lord Krishna. Once in Atlanta in 1975, I had the wonderful opportunity to see Srila Prabhupada. I saw him about 50 times, and this was one very memorable occasion. Srila Prabhupada was very grave and yet jolly. That was my impression. A very slight man, only 5'4" tall. A very humble demeanor, but very powerful presence wherever he went. And on this occasion, he came to Atlanta and saw the deities of Gaur Nitai, which were the ones that were installed there at that time. So he was very moved by this site, the city where he had never been before. Here was a gathering of enthusiastic devotees, and the installation of the deities of Gaur Nitai were there. And so he spoke very movingly about Lord Chaitanya. He said, in fact, it was the shortest arrival address he ever gave. He said, Lord Chaitanya is so kind. Lord Krishna demands, Sarva Dharmam Parichaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja. You surrender to me. But Lord Chaitanya is so kind, he does not demand. So take shelter of Lord Chaitanya and be happy. And then his voice was actually breaking up and tears were streaming down his face when he said that. It was just about a 1-minute address. You can hear it on the ISKCON Desire Tree, arrival in Atlanta in 1975. Anyway, what he was saying was very profound, because we see in Krishna Lila there's many deaths, right? Krishna's killing Putana, Trinavarta, Jashoda and Nanda Maharaj were very worried about their son's character. You know, by the time he was 3-4 years old, he was already a murderer and a thief. But nowhere do we find in Chaitanya Lila that there's any murder, right? There was one occasion when he threatened Jagai and Madai. He threatened, but Lord Nityananda intervened. So this is very important for us also to understand that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, and Krishna is very busy with his loving devotees in the spiritual world. He never leaves. He's just with his loving devotees. And those jivas who want to leave, they go to Pune, and for them, Lord Nityananda is in charge. Lord Nityananda is the Adi Guru, the original spiritual master, and of course he's Balaram. And the same thing happened in Krishna Lila. Krishna would be with the Pandavas, Balaram would be with Duryodhana, right? So those who are on the rebellious side, Lord Chaitanya just indirectly deals with them by the grace of Lord Nityananda. So in that particular case of Jagai and Madai, they had very much displeased Lord Chaitanya, so much so that he was willing to take this position of executing them. But Lord Nityananda said, no, they are repentant. And he said, if you kill them, you're here to save the most fallen. If you kill them, then who's going to be left? Nobody is as fallen as they are. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya showed us leadership, in one sense, also means delegation. It means empowering others. And it means selflessly giving for the benefit of others. Lord Nityananda is this merciful aspect of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. So, in this regard, I wanted to just share this morning. I've been preaching in the West for many years. My colleagues and I try very hard to bring these dull-headed Westerners to bhakti. Jugala Kirtan Prabhu and I were talking about it. Takes many, many years to bring one serious devotee. It can take many years. When Srila Prabhupada started ISKCON, it was a different kind of time when people were searching for more spirituality in that part of the world. And that beautiful, fertile ground gave rise to the Krishna consciousness movement in the US and Canada and Australia and UK and Europe and other parts of the world. Before it came back to India. Prabhupada was not having a lot of response in India. He had one casual disciple after some 20 years of preaching. And yet, after bringing some of the young Westerners, then the people in India took great interest. And now the situation is completely reversed, and India is booming like anything. One time Srila Prabhupada said, I am the only Hindu in ISKCON. Yes, that's what it was like. However, now the movement that Lord Chaitanya started is blossoming in the land of Bharatvarsha. And this was one of Lord Chaitanya's instructions. Bharate Bhumi Hoila Manusya Janmasar. Anyone who takes birth in this sacred land should make para upakar, the sufferings of others, their concern. That's spiritual leadership. And that spiritual leadership means giving of ourselves, of our time, of our hearts in a selfless way. The more that we give of ourselves to others, the more our problems seem to diminish. It's almost proportionate. If we can set aside our concerns, our problems, and help others, our problems tend to kind of lose their power over us. And that process goes on the more we progress in our giving, in our service mood. So in reaching the Westerners, we have these beautiful Bengali bhajans and Sanskrit bhajans from our acharyas that express very deep and real sentiments that are subtle and really sometimes lost in the more academic translations. So one of our strategies is to try to make these songs and expressions of devotion accessible to English-speaking people in a way that they can be sung in the original language and then also in the English language. In doing this, we're also hoping that other devotees in other parts of the world will do similar things for Hindi or for Gujarati or for Spanish or Russian or French. Use the poetic structure and content from the acharyas and put it in the current languages, just as Narottam and Bhaktivinoda Thakur both wrote in the vernacular Bengali, common language, so people could readily understand. So I brought a couple of these this morning. Is it all right? We could experiment, see how you like this. Okay, I'll need a little bit of help. Could I have a little table so I can also see and read off the computer? And then we'll need a good Madanga player. We have a Madanga player in the house. Oh no, not Yugala Kirti. Oh right. And then we'll need somebody to change the slides. You can do it? Okay. If you change just before you finish singing the last word to the next one, that will be helpful. Okay. Very good. Okay. That should work. Maybe over on this side, actually, Prabhuji. Thank you. So, yes, it's very simple call and response. So I'll sing Bengali, you sing Bengali, I sing English, you sing English. All right? Okay. So we'll take this, we'll start with this, which is very much in the mood. Thank you. Very much in the mood of service. Lord Chaitanya and his disciples going out in service for the people of the local villages. Udilo Aruna Purababaje Dwijamani Goramane Jage Bhakata Samuha Loya Sate Kela Nagara Braje Seeing the first red of dawn in the east, up from his bed rose the gem of the priests. Joined by his bhaktas who gathered around, he danced through the countryside, hamlets and towns. Tatai, tatai, sing, ajo loco. Kana kana tahe janjera ro. Prene dhala dhala sonara anga charane nupura baje. Tatai, tatai, sing, drums loud and sweet, Kartals and Wampers precisely can't be. Ankle bells jangling away just above. Gauranga's golden form trembled in love. Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari Bole no Bolo Revadana Pori. Niche Nidabase Gelore Rate Dibasa Sarira Saje. Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari, poured from the lips of the blissful devotees. People, they shouted your corpses at night, and all day you dress up your bodies just right. Hey mana durlaba manava deha payaki koro bhavana keha. Ebe na bhajile yasoda sutta charame puri bilache. Birth as a human is so very rare. You have this blessing but don't seem to care. Snubbing the worship of Yasoda's son. Slowly you dwindle, decay, and are done. Udita tapana hoile asta, dina gelo bole hoi vidyasta. Tabe keno ebe alasa hoi, nabaja hridoya raje. As the sun rises and as the sun sets, you waste another day without regret. Why are you idle, and when will you start to understand God who resides in your heart? Jivana nitya janharasa tahena navidha vipadabha. Amashraya kori jatane tumi takapana kaje. Life is as fleeting as dew on a leaf, always reflecting a spectrum of grief. What other service is equally sane as finding the shelter of God's holy name? Jivara kalyana sadhanakam jagate ase madhuryanam. Abhidyatimira tapana rupe gagana viraje. Call out for Krishna and make the sun rise, blessing and brilliantly lighting the sky. Both in your own and in everyone's heart. Conquer your ignorance, rise from the dark. Krishna Nama Shuddha Koriyapa Durayo Bhakati Vinoda Pran. Nama bina kichu nahi koara chauda bhuvana mache. Bhakati Vinoda loudly proclaims, drink the pure nectar of Krishna's sweet names. These holy names are my very life air. Nothing in all 14 worlds can compare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Gaur Premanandi. Here we see Lord Chaitanya's mood of sharing Krishna consciousness. And actually, as we notice, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the author, speaks through the agency of all of the devotees. You know, Lord Chaitanya gets up and dances, but it is the devotees who are giving the knowledge to the still sleeping people. So, any reflections on any of these verses? What did you think of this experience? Any reflections on what Lord Chaitanya is teaching, what the devotees were saying, these sleeping souls?
The very attempt that you have written it in English, and it's connecting. Right? Like sometimes Bengali also, and it's too deep. Sometimes to even grasp it. But English makes it so easy to can actually.
How many here speak Bengali?
Nobody here.
One. So yes, it's the same phenomenon for those who speak English only. And okay, yes, Prabhuji, you had something to share? No? Anyone else like to reflect on any of the content, any of the things that we were just thinking about? How did it strike you? Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
I thought that this was a very simple yet piercing way to tell people that they're wasting their life,
Yes.
and they better catch Krishna's names as soon as possible.
It is piercing, isn't it? How does it work when you present Krishna consciousness like that? We have to be a little more subtle. Srila Prabhupada once commented that the Westerners are like sleeping people. You can wake them up. But in India, people are pretending to be asleep. What do you think? Does that sound accurate? How do you wake up somebody who's pretending to be asleep? They don't want to hear. And I'm being told how more and more in India, people are trying to take to the ways of the West. And so sometimes people think, should we adjust the way we present Krishna consciousness accordingly? From my point of view, no. You're doing just right, because all of this Western notion of sense gratification being the goal of life ultimately ends in frustration. People will not find the happiness that they expect. And therefore, you're keeping the traditional approach and keeping a beautiful temple and the kirtan and everything just like it is. That will eventually attract people back when they realize the uselessness of pursuing a life of materialism. So many of us have. So, yeah, no need to adjust. No need to adjust from what you're doing now. Maybe a little adjustment from what Lord Chaitanya and his associates could do. Because then there was not a lot of distractions of technology and a lot of notions of materialism being a superior path. People were simple, and so they could hear in a simple way. Yes. Now if you tell somebody you're wasting your life, they will ask, how much are you earning? You know, my wife and I have been practicing Krishna consciousness for over 50 years. And once, just as an exercise, every day we're chanting roughly 2 hours every day. So we calculated, all right, what if we had spent all those 2 hours daily working at a minimum wage job instead? Just a minimum wage job. We figured over 50 years we would have earned 2 crores. And then we calculated, okay, how much money have we saved by following these 4 regulative principles for 50 years? 2 crores. So it was a break-even proposition financially. Because people cannot imagine what is the use of spending your time chanting and reading and with so much focus on spirituality. This is the mentality of the materialistic person. Yes, why should I waste my time? Let me do this when I'm older and I can no longer earn and work. Then it'll be very convenient. The problem is by then so many bad habits have developed that it's very difficult to make a sudden U-turn. So taking up the practice of bhakti in our youth, the younger the better, that's a great investment of time. Prahlad Maharaj said, Komaram acharet pragyo dharmam bhagavatam miha. Ideally, from the very beginning of life, one should take up practices of bhakti. It's always too late to take up bhakti, but it's never too early. We should have, even in Atlanta that time in 1975, Srila Prabhupada was recounting, it was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's appearance day, and he was recounting his first meeting with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, in which he said, my Guru Maharaj told me to go and preach Krishna consciousness in the West, but I was thinking, oh, I have all these responsibilities. That was my mistake. I should have joined immediately. He said, still better late than never. And of course, Krishna arranges our lives in such a way that our desire for spirituality may be compromised by our material responsibilities. But that's part of the process. That's part of the process. The intention, the desire to serve, to chant, to help others, that can be nurtured like a tender plant, because it really is our devotional creeper. It's very natural to turn to Krishna. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhu Kabunoi. Krishna is dormant in, love of Krishna is dormant in everybody's heart. And then Shravanade Sudhi Chitte Karya Udoi. By hearing and chanting, that dormant love is awakened. So it's very natural to turn to Krishna when the frustrations of materialism come clear in our minds. Then, once we turn to Krishna, then there is a question of incorporating Krishna consciousness in our lives in the proper way, in a sustainable way, according to our varna, according to our ashram. Rupa Goswami says, Yena tena prakarina mana Krishna naveshaya. Somehow or other, think about Krishna, all the rules and regulations can come later. This has been our key in developing some attracting programs for people in the West. Never mind, you don't have to change a lot of your life. Just add Krishna. We followed Srila Prabhupada's example in this regard, and the first time he gave initiation in 26 Second Avenue, he did not even introduce the 4 regulative principles. Did you know that? He just initiated his disciples. Then sometime later, one of the new disciples said, Swamiji, now that we are initiated, are there any rules? He said, I'm very glad you are finally asking that question. So this is the mood. Just to begin our Krishna conscious experience, it starts with chanting. But then, how can we live and practice Krishna consciousness? We don't have to change a lot. We have to follow 4 regulative principles. So that may mean a change of diet and some other habits. But it's not too drastic. Many times people are already on the spiritual path, are tending in these directions anyway. Perhaps the most difficult part is learning to go to bed earlier and get up earlier. Especially for young people who are invincible. They stay up late, get up early, no problem. In Bhagavatam class, so Krishna says, Yuktahara biharasya yukta chetasya karmashu, that one who is temperate, regular, eating, sleeping, work, and recreation, can conquer the miseries of material life, yoga bhavati dukkha, by this practice of the yoga system. So with these few changes, then we can incorporate Krishna consciousness as brahmacharis, as grihastas. It doesn't matter. Grihe tako, vani tako, sada hari bole tako. Our circumstances will differ, it will be individual. However, if our purpose is serving Krishna, that will guide us, that will lead us, that will be our GPS for finding our direction in every circumstance of life. If our purpose is serving Krishna, then everything becomes manifest. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. If our intent is serving Krishna, Krishna promises, this is the deal, I will give you the intelligence by which you can come to me. Any other thoughts about these subjects? Any reflections? Prabhuji?
The best part of this song was, it was like a punch with a velvet cushion. Everyone was singing so beautifully, but then Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving a punch. He's making us realize that how we are sleeping in the lap of Maya, and the life is like a dewdrop on a lotus leaf. These are quite awakening realities, but then it goes so sweetly.
Yes, like in the doctor's office, the nurse, first they put a little cool alcohol on your shoulder before they give the jab, right? Yes, there's a story in the Hitupadesh. This is instructive about how to present Krishna consciousness. So it's the fox and the moose. Have you heard this story? So the fox is walking along the field, and there's a well that has grown over with grass, blind well. He doesn't see, falls in this well. And so there's no water there, but the sides are so slick that he can't get out. So he's thinking and thinking, what to do, what to do. Then he starts dancing and singing, making a loud noise. And the moose hears this noise up on top. He comes and looks over. What are you doing? Oh, I'm dancing. It's so cool here in the well. You should join me. So the moose jumps in, the fox jumps on his antlers and jumps out. So it's important that we present Krishna consciousness not as a series of rules and regulations. You've got to do this, you've got to do this. But rather just have fun, dancing and chanting. And it's not to trick them. It's just to help them get started. Because the punch will come. And if the punch doesn't come from Srimad Bhagavatam, it will come from Maya Devi. Right? Chatur vidha bhajante mam. There's 4 types of people who come to Krishna, and 2 of them are in difficulty materially. Those who are suffering and those who are in need of money. So, yes, the punch is there. All right, anything else? Yes, sir.
The other point is there in the song, that is, human life is so rare, so better make human life is so rare, better make use of this time and be Krishna conscious.
Yes, excellent point. This birth as a human is so very rare. Emana durlabha manavadeha. How rare is this human life? I read recently that there are, in one human body, you ready for this? 100 trillion cells. 100 trillion cells in one human body. And each and every one of those cells has the symptoms of the presence of the spirit soul. Birth, growth, duration of life, dwindling, passing of byproducts, and death. These are the 6 symptoms showing the presence of the soul. So that's one human body out of 8 billion human bodies, which is just one species out of millions of species on this one planet, which is one planet in a tiny universe. Science has estimated that for every grain of sand on Earth, there are 10 million stars. For every grain of sand on Earth, there's 10 million stars. And science may not know, but we know from Bhagavatam, life is everywhere. So how many countless souls there are? Even in our own body, we are 1 out of 100 trillion. You know, we are the dominant jiva in this body. We get to call the shots to a certain extent. In fact, only 10 trillion of the cells in our bodies are human cells. The other 90 trillion are various types of parasites and sycophants who are just waiting for the feast. So, yes, we have this very rare opportunity. In Florida, USA, where I live, we have 2 cows on our little farm. And one of the cows gave birth a couple of years ago. Within a half an hour, that baby calf was up on her feet and suckling. And a human baby, on the other hand, has got this gigantic head. The head is so heavy, it cannot even lift it off the mat for weeks. Is that a clue as to what human life is for? This is our particular strength. You know, we can't compete with the animals in any other way, but except for our intelligence. And so, yes, this is the purpose of our life, to understand what is God, what is devotion, where should our attention go, where should our love go. If we fail to understand this, we are what is called dvipadi pashu, two-legged animals. We look like the human, but we're living like the animal. So this is the punchline from Lord Chaitanya, from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. You have this human life, and yet you're wasting it living like the animals. Thank you very much, yes. Okay, anything else on this? Should we do another bhajan? Okay. You have the, okay. Okay, so this is a bhajan written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in great ecstasy. He has looked out his window in his home in Sarabi Kunja and see, oh, there's a marketplace of the holy name set up right next door. And the owner and the manager of this marketplace is Lord Nityananda, Koda Nitaya. Koda means he's the owner and the manager. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur decides, I will become a salesman on behalf of the marketplace. And who are we? We are the customers, yes. So this bhajan is a sales pitch by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We'll sing this refrain, Koda Nitai, and we can energize the Madanga a little bit during that refrain each time. Krishna, Krishna. Boro sukir kaborgai, boro sukir kaborgai. So Robin, it's too high, I'm sorry. Back up. Boro sukir kaborgai, boro sukir kaborgai. Surabi kunjete namaheta kuleche. I sing of ecstatic news, blissful and fantastic news. Nitai's Kirtan marketplace is in Surabi Kunja. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Boro mojar katatai, Boro mojar katatai. Shraddha mulye shuddha nama sehate te bikai. There are smiles on every face in that holy marketplace. Krishna's holy names are sold for just the price of faith. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Jata Bhakta Vrinda Basi, Jata Bhakta Vrinda Basi. Adhikari Deke Nama Veche Daro Kasi. All devotees are attracted to the market's interactions. Nittai qualifies each buyer, then conducts transactions. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Jadi nama kimbe bai, jadi nama kimbe bai. Amma sange chala mahajana kache jai. Brother, if you want to buy, let us go now, you and I. Let us go and meet with the illustrious Nitai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Tume kimbe Krishna nama, tume kimbe Krishna nama. Dasturilo ibo ami purna habe kama. You will by the name of Krishna, I will gather my commission. Then we both shall relish our auspicious acquisitions. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Borodoya Nityananda, Borodoya Nityananda. Shraddha Matra Loyete Paramananda. Nitya is so very generous, faith is all he's asking of us. In exchange he gives us bliss unparalleled and endless. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Ek bar dekle chak se jal, ek bar dekle chak se jal. Gaura bole nitai den sakala sambal. Now chant Gaura if Nitai sees one teardrop in your eye. Anything you want or need, he surely will supply. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Then Shuddha Krishna Shiksha, then Shuddha Krishna Shiksha. Jati Dhana Vidya Bala Nakore Apeksha. Krishna's teachings are so pure, this profound entrepreneur cares not for your knowledge, money, strength, or even your birth. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Amane chade maya jal, amane chade maya jal. Grihe tako bane tako nata ke janjal. Forest, home, or anywhere, shedding Maya's web of hair. All at once you will be free of each and every care. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Anaiko Kalir boy, Anaiko Kalir boy. Achandale de nama nitai doya moy. Although Kali Yuga is here, you don't have a thing to fear. Even chandalas can buy from this kind marketeer. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Bhakti Vinoda Dake Koi, Bhakti Vinoda Dake Koi. Nitai Charana Bina Arnahi Ashroy. Bhakti Vinoda cries out, Nitai feet there is no doubt. Are the only shelter you can never do without. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. So, any reflections on any of these bhajans or these lines? Oh. Anyone? Yes, sir. You go ahead and speak loudly. I'll just repeat.
Hare Krishna. What appealed to me most was the price that we have to pay for chanting the holy names, that is the faith. And if we pay that price of faith, then what will be the result of that? The protection from Maya and bliss.
Very good question. One moment. This price of faith is Shraddha, and there's two kinds of Shraddha or faith. This, a Tao Shraddha means some preliminary faith that God exists and that I have a connection with God. So this is a Tao Shraddha. And then there is Nishtha, which is firm faith, unshakable faith. Even if I don't have full knowledge, my faith cannot be swayed. So the price for the marketplace is a Tao Shraddha. You just have to have enough preliminary faith to understand that God exists and that I have some connection with Him. Then we can try the holy name. We can try chanting. This is all Bhaktivinoda Thakur is inviting us. I'm sorry. So this Adao Shraddha means that we can enter, we can purchase, and we can enjoy. The development of bhakti is not artificial or forced. See, if we're just willing to try chanting, then because it's natural, it will awaken. Shrindvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam. The Sutta Goswami explains that Krishna within the heart removes the anarthas, the unwanted things. So in the West, where I teach, this happens. This is the miracle of Krishna consciousness that Prabhupada gave us. If people are just somehow or other willing to try the chanting, no commitments, no obligations, no shaving heads, no big announcements, no contract, just chant, just chant. After some time, the light bulb goes on. This is fun. I enjoy this. I didn't think I would enjoy it, but I'm enjoying it. And then these bad habits, things I'd like to improve about myself, they start to, the bad habits go away and I start to feel like a better person. This is called anartha nivritti. So it comes from chanting, it comes from association of devotees. And that miraculous experience of self-improvement from chanting, almost in spite of ourselves, is what creates nishtha, the firm faith. So in many of the spiritual, religious traditions in the West, the first requirement is you have to believe. You have to subscribe. Okay, now I am a believer in this faith. Right? And then, according to the teaching, now you're saved. You can do whatever you want, but as long as you believe, you're saved. And Krishna consciousness is not like that. We actually have to experience an improvement in our character, an improvement in our lives. Anartha nivritti has to take place for us to progress further. And we can do that at whatever pace that may take. As long as we keep chanting, we will inevitably make progress. Even if our chanting is offensive, Prabhupada explains, even if we're chanting offensively, we will continue. If we continue to chant, those offenses will go away. So that's the power of the holy name, the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Very nice, thank you. We have an online question. Question has come like this, okay. What is the meaning of Lord Chaitanya is not demanding? Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharmam parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Just abandon all varieties of religion and surrender to me. But Lord Chaitanya does not demand. See, he's so kind. He doesn't say, you surrender to me. Even Krishna is very ecumenical about it. He says, surrender to me. Now I've explained everything. Yatecha sita taguru. Now you do what you want to do. One of my friends said, this is my favorite verse in Bhagavad Gita. What is that? Where Krishna says, do whatever you want to do. So in that sense, Lord Krishna does not also demand. He doesn't force. But Lord Chaitanya in particular is just attracting us with the astras, with the weapons of the holy name and kirtan and prasana. Just come and join the Sankirtan party. Yeah. Is it time? Okay, thank you. Good context. Well, I just want to see, are there any more reflections or questions in Mataji's? Anyone? No? No? Okay. So I know it's a weekday. I really appreciate you coming. How many have to go to work now? Okay, so we'll just go another hour and then it'll be finished. I'm sure your boss won't care. No. No, we'll end here shortly. Just anyone else like to share anything? Yeah? Mataji? No? You were nominated on behalf of the Mataji. Whatever you like to share, your reflections, your thoughts.
Prabhuji, when you were singing, so I thought that I went to the marketplace, and I thought that even if the whatever first he makes us qualified, and then he gives the Krishna name, means we need not do anything. We just need to go to the market, and and that was the most means when we go to a mall or something, there is a staircase and there is an escalator.
Yeah.
There is a lift.
Yes.
So when we come to ISKCON, there is an escalator. You just have to go enter the escalator. You are going to go directly up. So
Yes.
that was my reflection.
That's very good. And once you're on, you want to stay on, right? Don't try to back down. Yes, it's true, especially for those of us from very foreign families and backgrounds. What Prabhupada has done is miraculous. And this is the evidence of the power of Lord Chaitanya. That even the unqualified, chandalas, those who don't have, those who are poor or uneducated, whomever, he doesn't make any discriminations. When he says Nitai qualifies each buyer, what he means is to qualify somebody means to make sure that they have the minimum requirement. See, like we can't enter the marketplace of the holy name if we don't have at least preliminary faith. Okay, at least I will try. At least I will approach the holy name with some reverence and respect. That's our qualification. But then from there, Sakala Sambal, he gives us everything if we continue up the escalator. Thank you. Beautiful analogy. Anything else? No? Okay. So we'll end here then. It's been a real joy. I brought some books that we use for introducing the English-speaking audiences to Krishna consciousness. This is sort of my hobby I've been doing for the last 25 years. Putting these songs in English, like in this book, these are all the songs of the Vaishnavacharyas in the same English translations that can be sung. I've done the same thing with the 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. There's all 3,600 verses put in English couplets. So you can read the pastimes. It's good for a review. It's good for children. It's good for insomnia. This is Srila Prabhupada's poetic edition of Bhagavad Gita that he wrote in 1962 in Bengali. He later put the serial articles he'd been writing for his Godbrothers magazine into a book, which was distributed widely in West Bengal and Bangladesh, Gita Argan. This is the first English translation of every verse. And if you're familiar with Bhagavad Gita as it is, there's a lot of beautiful nuances that he incorporates because of no purports, but he adjusts the translations in very interesting ways. This is Bhagavad Gita in rap for the Western kids. There's a phrase, the wrath of God. This is called the rap of God. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur Sharanagati, again translated in singable English. First and second cantos in poetic translation. And these are some original poems. Everything else I do is plagiarism. I did write one little skinny original book here. So these books are available just by donation. They have them downstairs. 200 or 300 rupees is fine. Jugala Kirtan Prabhu, maybe you could help if anyone wants to donate. If you don't have donation and want to take one, please do. I mostly want them to be all distributed here at your center. And we have one set for the brahmacharis who are impoverished. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful Gaur Purnima. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.